Man, I just want to rant real quick about how there is a podcast for a podcast. So the other day, I'm working. I'm out there. I'm putting shit on shelves, literally. All right. I'm doing good. I'm vibing on my own. You know, I'm doing 45 cases a minute, and I decide, what could really make me go even faster if I put my earbuds in and I listen to some Joe Rogan. All right. Now, I've been on a Joe Rogan binge lately, mainly from his clips channel on YouTube. I'm addicted to that. I literally have a problem, and I am going to therapy for it. Dude, I, I, I go into Google Play, right? I get the podcast app, and I'm there at work, and I'm like, damn, okay, let's see. I want Joe Rogan and Triforce. Those are the two podcasts I listen to. So I want those two. And so I get Triforce, bam, it's on Google Play. Got it, right. And then I do JRE, and Joe Rogan Experience pops up, and it's like, oh damn, two experiences. This must be like a special edition of Joe Rogan, right? This must be the experience. You're experiencing the experience. Like, how epic is that, right? That's epic. And when I click on it, I just hear these four random dudes yelling some gibberish into my ears like I'm at a NASCAR race. And all of a sudden, it's a podcast talking about the Joe Rogan podcast and what happened. Like, what is the. Have we really become so uncreative that we need to react to podcasts? We need to have a podcast for a podcast. What is the point? I just I'll just go listen to Joe Rogan himself. Like, I'd rather just do that. So that's what made me want to make this video. It very much upset me because I wanted to listen to Joe Rogan, not Flo Mogan and Dogan. All right, I didn't want to listen to some I didn't want to listen to you talk about the podcast I couldn't get. All right, that's weird, man. Honestly, so I had to go and download Spotify, and now I gotta listen to these stupid Spotify ads every like 10 minutes, and it is what it is. It's fine, it's all right. But dude, Joe Rogan, I enjoy his podcast. He's gotten me into monkeys. He's gotten me into believing conspiracy theories. The content on this channel might change because of him. If you start seeing me upload conspiracy theories, man, and all of a sudden little Josh is never seen again, you'll know why. All right. Little Josh found with like one sock on. You'll know why. All right. So, yeah, the Joe Rogan experience. No disrespect to them. Congratulations. I'm proud that you can make content out of content. But, dude, when does this stop? Right? When do why is there a podcast for a podcast? Do we really need that? Is that really necessary? Come on, man. Like, at that point, just make that your own podcast and then just bring up Joe Rogan once in a while. Like, what's the point of calling it the Joe Rogan experience? Like, that's trying to, what you was doing. You know what you did. You know what you're profiting off of. And it's not just Joe Rogan. This is for, there's podcast for the Lord of the Rings, like these series. There's a podcast for just, anything. It's insane. And some stuff doesn't even deserve a podcast. It's just make that. Why can't this be Billy and James podcast, okay? Billy and James, all right? The Billy and James podcast, right? They talk about movies, not just Lord of the Rings, all right? Why do we have to have the Lord of the Rings podcast where it's just Billy and James talking nonsense, all right? Just do your own podcast. You don't need the movie title in. Dude, this has gotten me too angry. This is like it's hindered my vibes. There's very few times my vibe gets hindered. All right, it gets messed with. Okay, if you look at vibes like they're a wavelength, they go woo woo woo, like they go up and down. Right, you can't just go into those and like squish it. All right, you can't squish the vibes like that because it hurts the vibes. All right. So what I'm trying to say here is become creative. All right. Think of a podcast like the Postman podcast or something, dude. Right? Like the Postman podcast. Oh, they must be mailman. They must be mailmen, huh? No, no, they're not mailmen. They're different. Exactly. So if you put your mind to it, Joe Rogan, monkeys, flat Earth. That's all for me. Fuck. I I did not take my medication today.